Welcome back everyone to the Working Class Revolt, and today I want to talk about a couple of different stories which are really bizarre, and one of them probably being the most embarrassing moment for the United Kingdom. But before we get on to that story, I want to get on to this story, a story that you've all heard about, but which has took quite a ludicrous twist. So as we all know, 3 men from Ukraine, young men, male models, have been arrested in connection with firebombs on houses connected to the Prime Minister Keir Starmer, one of which we know for certain was the house that he lived in before he moved into 10 Downing Street. Now, as I mentioned, these 3 people are Ukrainian men, and there's been a lot of speculation that these are people who may have been prostitutes or rent boys that Keir Starmer has been involved in. Now, obviously that is speculation at the moment. But when I tell you which the latest story is, the latest accusation, that might not seem so bizarre after all. Because all the media channels, unfortunately even channels like Talk TV and GB News, are running stories today blaming, you've probably guessed it, Russia and Vladimir Putin, claiming that somehow Vladimir Putin has got these 3 Ukrainian boys under some type of black op mission to go to the United Kingdom and firebomb houses that Keir Starmer once lived in to make the Prime Minister look bad, as if he couldn't look any worse, to hopefully get rid of him so he doesn't keep piling all this pressure on Russia. Now, I think there's something really sinister going on here. Anytime all the media channels come together, those who are meant to be establishment and meant to be anti-establishment, there's usually some dark business going on, and somebody a lot higher is telling these people what to say. But I want to ask you in the comment section, please let me know what you think is going on here. Do you have any information or any links that you can put in the description that we can look into and talk about on this channel? And do you believe, as many people are reporting, that something dark is going to come out about Keir Starmer? Because I don't believe for 1 minute that Russia are behind this. I think that there is some connection directly between these people and Keir Starmer. What that connection is, like I said, it's speculation. But please let me know on this story what you think. Now, there's another story which I mentioned at the beginning of the video is probably the most embarrassing moment in UK politics, and that is that Donald J. Trump, the President of the United States of America, has opened an investigation and is monitoring the UK government over the Lucy Connolly case, the Tommy Robinson case, freedom of speech for those that are against abortions. So the US has sent spokespeople out to speak to anti-abortion groups who believe that they're being silenced and not allowed to speak out for the rights of babies being born. Whether you're for it or against it, we're supposed to live in a country where you can voice your concerns. Now, I'm anti-abortion, and I believe that I should be able to say that, just like somebody who is pro-abortion should be able to argue their case too. But the Lucy Connolly one seems to be the final straw that broke the camel's back with Donald Trump. They're claiming, like many people over here, that Lucy Connolly should have freedom of speech, or freedom of expression as it is in the UK, should have protected her for the tweet that she put out. She basically put a tweet out about the hotels and how they should be burnt to the ground that migrants are in, something that everybody disagrees with, after the Southport massacre. Now, it turns out that Lucy was suffering with a lot of mental health problems and had previously lost a child. Seeing such a bad thing happen on the television, she sent a crazy tweet out there, went for a walk, come back, deleted it, saw the error of her ways. But she, within days, was serving 32 months in prison. Now, think of some of the things that people do in the UK and don't go to prison. She sends out that tweet and is spending 32 days in prison, regardless of the family back at home who need their mother and wife there. And most people seem to agree that it was overkill. And this is where Keir Starmer has got the title two-tier Keir, because people spend up to 2 years waiting to be prosecuted and have the day in court for a crime they may or may not have done. But in this case, when Keir Starmer kept coming out and saying the far right, the far right, the far right, it took up to 5 days to actually put somebody in prison. People who had never committed crimes before. Hundreds of people a week are being visited by the police because of things that they're putting on social media. At times, I say stuff on this channel, and I think I'm quite moderate. And as I say stuff, I'm thinking, am I going to get a knock on the door? As this channel gets bigger, that probably will happen at some point. Because let's be honest, we don't have freedom of expression or speech in this country. But the reason the United States of America and Donald Trump are so concerned is because they don't want to be allies with a country that doesn't stand for the same values. The left are always saying we shouldn't be allies with China because of our China's human rights. Well, if you're America and in your constitution you have something called freedom of speech and you're seeing this happen in the United Kingdom, why would you want to be allies with that country regardless of the history that we've had together? But a lot of people are upset, and again, a lot of the media are turning around and saying that Trump should stick his nose out of our business. Well, no, he shouldn't, because Donald Trump needs to know the people that he's allying with. In this case, like most cases, I think America and Trump are absolutely right. But let me know what you think about the Lucy Connolly, Tommy Robinson case, and the anti-abortion groups that are claiming they've not got freedom of speech. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.